They must not let him see the sunrise on the fourth day. The voice cut through the night like a blade. A hand struck the boy across the face. "Confess!" another man shouted, gripping his shirt. "Admit what you are." I don't understand," the boy cried, his voice shaking. "I didn't do anything." The crowd roared. Lamps flickered wildly as shadows danced across angry faces. Women hissed. Men spat at his feet. Children hid behind their mothers, peeking with wide, frightened eyes. "Liar!" someone screamed. "You killed my crops! My son fell sick because of you!" another voice yelled. 10-year-old Chinedu stood in the middle of it all, barefoot, bruised, trembling. "Mama," he whispered, searching the crowd desperately. "Mama, please." His eyes found her. For a moment, everything went silent in his world. She stood there, but she didn't move, didn't speak, didn't defend him. Instead, she looked away. That was the moment something inside him broke. "He's a witch," an elder declared firmly, "and he must be dealt with." The decision fell like thunder. They dragged him. He screamed, kicking, crying, but no one listened. Not anymore. Not in a place where fear had replaced truth. They threw him into a small, dark room behind the school. The door slammed shut. Darkness swallowed him. "Please," he cried, pounding weakly on the door. "Please, I'm not a witch." No answer. Only silence. Hours passed, then a day, then another. He lost track of time. Sometimes the door opened, not for help, for pain. Hands would grab him, drag him out, beat him, pour substances on his skin, whisper curses over him. "Confess," they demanded. "I'm not," he cried each time, weaker than before. Food was scarce, water even less. His body ached, his voice faded. And on the third day, they made it official. "In 3 days' time," the elder announced, "we end this." Chinedu heard it from inside the darkness, and for the first time, he stopped crying. He just sat there, waiting. The stranger arrived on a quiet afternoon. Dust clung to his shoes. His shirt was simple, worn from travel. But his eyes were different, observant, calm. "Good day," he greeted a group of villagers. They muttered back half-heartedly. "There's tension here," he said gently. "Is everything all right?" No one gave him a straight answer. Instead, they exchanged glances. "He shouldn't be here," one woman whispered. But the stranger kept walking. Something felt wrong. Then he heard it, faint, weak. "Help." He stopped, listened again. "Please." The sound led him behind the school, to a locked door. He frowned. "Who's there?" he asked, stepping closer. Silence. Then, "I'm here." The voice was barely alive. The stranger's expression changed instantly. "What's your name?" he asked softly. Chinedu." "Why are you locked in there?" "They said I'm a witch." The stranger stood still for a moment. Then he exhaled slowly. "No," he murmured. "No, you're not." That night, the village slept. But something shifted. A loose latch, a weakened door, a miracle. Chinedu didn't know how it happened. All he knew was the door gave way. He didn't think, he ran. Through the darkness, through pain, through fear. Branches scratched his skin, stones cut his feet. "Run," he whispered to himself, "just run." He stumbled, fell, got up again, then finally, he collapsed completely. When he opened his eyes, light touched his face. He flinched. A figure knelt beside him. "Hey, easy," the stranger said softly. Chinedu tried to crawl away. "Don't touch me," he whispered weakly. I'm dangerous." The stranger's voice was calm. "No, you're not. They said I am. They were wrong." Chinedu stared at him, confused. "Why are you helping me?" he asked. The stranger paused, then said quietly, "Because you're just a boy." For the first time in days, Chinedu cried again. But this time, it was different. At the hospital, everything felt strange. Clean beds, soft voices, gentle hands. Every time someone walked toward him, he flinched. "Relax," the nurse said kindly. "You're safe here." Safe. The word felt unfamiliar. The stranger stayed close, day after day. He brought food, sat beside him, spoke gently. And one day, Chinedu finally asked, "Am I really not a witch?" The stranger met his eyes. "No," he said firmly, "you are not." "Then why did they hate me?" The stranger didn't answer immediately. "Sometimes," he said slowly, "people fear what they don't understand. And when fear grows, it becomes cruelty." Chinedu swallowed hard. "So I did nothing wrong?" "Nothing." That answer stayed with him. But leaving the village didn't end the pain. In the city, everything overwhelmed him. Cars honked loudly. He covered his ears. People moved too fast. He shrank away. At night, he woke up screaming. "No, don't touch me!" he would shout, drenched in sweat. The stranger would rush in. "It's okay," he'd say softly. "You're safe. No one will hurt you." But Chinedu didn't believe it, not yet. At school, it got worse. Children laughed, and he assumed it was about him. A teacher raised their voice, and he froze completely. "Chinedu," the teacher said one day, frustrated, "why are you always so quiet?" He said nothing, because in his mind, silence meant survival. "I can't do this," Chinedu said one evening, sitting on the floor. The stranger sat beside him. "Yes, you can." "No, I can't," his voice cracked. "They were right about me. Something is wrong with me." The stranger shook his head. "No, something happened to you. That's different." Chinedu looked at him. "What do I do then?" The stranger hesitated, then said, "We get you help." Therapy was not easy. The first session, Chinedu said nothing. Second session, still nothing. Third session, he finally spoke. "They wanted to kill me." Tears followed. "They said I was evil." More tears. "I believed them." The therapist leaned forward gently. "You're not evil, Chinedu. But they were so sure. People can be wrong, even many people." Chinedu's voice shook. "I was so scared." "I know," she said softly, and for the first time, someone understood. Healing didn't happen overnight, but slowly it came. The nightmares became less frequent. The fear softened. The silence broke. He started answering questions in class, started making eye contact, started smiling, just a little, then more. Years passed, and the boy they tried to destroy changed. He studied harder than anyone. He pushed himself, not to prove them wrong, but to prove to himself that he could rise. And he did. He graduated, built a career, built a life, a beautiful home, a loving wife, peace, the kind he never thought he'd have. Back in the village, news spread. "Have you heard about Chinedu? The same boy?" Yes, he's rich now. Very rich. Silence followed, then whispers. We should go see him. One afternoon, a knock came at his door. Chinedu opened it and froze. His mother stood there, older, weaker, tears in her eyes. Behind her, familiar faces, the same ones, but different now. Not angry, not proud, just desperate. We came to see you, she said, her voice trembling. Chinedu said nothing. Memories rushed back. The screams, the pain, the silence when he needed her most. She continued, struggling. I didn't know what to do back then. Still, he said nothing. If you can find it in your heart, she whispered, please. A long pause. Then slowly, Chinedu stepped aside. Come in. Not because they deserved it, but because he refused to become like them. That night he sat quietly, thinking. The stranger's voice echoed in his mind. You are a boy with a future. He smiled faintly, because they tried to end his story, but they only made it stronger. If this story moved you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Would you have forgiven them? Because sometimes, the greatest strength is choosing not to hate.